All right. All right, welcome. Welcome to the Miracle Work. Today with a very specific theme, and that is ego logic. So now the ego loves to say analyze and look at itself. So that's why I want to keep this meeting really short. Now I have to say that I've like a 30-minute segment now that I can be here. So not examining itself like a narcissistic entity, but there's some really great questions that are being asked, and that's why I love to bring it in. And this is really part of chapter 4, and I actually use the clarification of terms. That's volume 4 of the Urtext manuscripts. That's not, doesn't matter. It's like it's all telling the same thing. So it's like ego versus the miracle. Now you can have demonstrations of that. So ego and the miracle. That's easy. You know, you choose for ego. The ego is yelling at you for attention, like in your consciousness. It's yelling for attention, and it wants all the attention because it is a dramatic entity. That is something that questions and that looks and looks and looks, exhausts itself, is frantic. It is never stopping to look what it doesn't want to find, but it wants to search, it wants to look for things. So that's one thing. So then when it becomes still, like when that becomes still, the miracle is right here, like it didn't go anywhere. So you can say, like, so what sense does it make then to take even a look at the ego if it's nothing? Well, it is good to see what it isn't, what it pretends to be, but what it isn't. And ego is not a separate entity or anything. So it's like, include yourself into the story of this. It's like, as soon as you find yourself with your mind giving a definition of yourself that has no basis in reality, then in fact you're saying I'm something else than what everything is. I'm this little separate thing, and yeah, I will be separate from it forever. And so yeah, that makes you very unhappy. It's like it is the basis of your unhappiness. That is the basis of thinking that you're something that you're not. So however that can never fulfill. That can never help you in any kind of way. So that, but to take a look at what it isn't is very helpful. That appears that way in this, what I'm sharing with you. So there are many questions given. So many questions that are all about the idea of what am I, in fact. So there's still, say, a deeper study of the idea, who am I? Okay, so now I'm going to, like I said, I have half an hour. That's just the way it is. And that's how it appears, at least now. So I share with you one of the visuals that I prepared, just to get all the questions in front that are being asked in this, which is really interesting. So you look for a clarification of the term ego, and what follows is a ton of questions. That's an interesting thing. So there's a reason for that. You'll see. Okay, so here's my title then, ego logic. I thought it was a great term, ego logic. It's not logical at all, it's insanity, but there's something to discover for us today. So there's no definition to give, really. There's no definition for a lie that serves to make it true. Nor can there be a truth that lies conceal effectively. Nor can there be a truth that lies conceal effectively. The ego's unreality is not denied by words, nor its meaning clear because its nature seemed to have a form. The ego's unreality is not denied by words, nor is its meaning clear because its nature seems to have a form. Now here's a question: who can define the undefinable? That would be impossible, but there's even an answer here. And this is what we're going to take a look at. So, well, that's already quite going deep into the idea. So the ego's unreality is not denied by words. So the ego's unreality is not denied by words. It's a double negative. Huh? So what does it actually say then? Well, it's not denied by words. Can you see that? It's like the ego's unreality is not denied. So it's also not confirmed, but it's not denied. So there's really something there. Anyway, we continue. Because there will be more questions that are actually giving some clarity, which is an interesting principle in the first place. So we cannot really make a definition for the ego, what the ego is, but we can say what it is not. And this is shown to us with perfect clarity. It is from this that we deduce all that the ego is. Look at its opposite and you can see the only answer that is meaningful. The ego's opposite in every way. Did you just miss that sentence? I did. It is from this that we deduce all that the ego is. Look at its opposite and you can see the only answer that is meaningful. The ego's opposite in every way, in origin, effect and consequence, we call a miracle. This is what I said, the ego, the miracle. The ego's opposite in every way, in origin, effect and consequence, we call a miracle. And here we find all that is not the ego in the world. Here is the ego's opposite, and here alone we look on what the ego was. For here we see all that it seemed to do, and cause and its effects must still be one. And there's no separation of those two. So we saw what the ego did, what the ego was. By allowing the miracle, you actually see, oh my God, no, that's not what it is. And that was the ego then. So now here we go. Where there was darkness, now we see the light. Where there was darkness, now we see the light. What was the ego? What the darkness was. Where was the ego? Where the darkness was. Where is it now and where can it be found? Nothing and nowhere. Now the light has come, its opposite has gone without a trace. Where evil was, there now is holiness. What is the ego? What the evil was. What the evil was. What is the ego? What the evil was. Where evil was, there now is holiness. What is the ego? What the evil was. Where is the ego? In an evil dream that but seemed real while you were dreaming it. That's all. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So where there was crucifixion stands God's Son. What is the ego? Who has need to ask? Where is the ego? Who has need to seek for an illusion now that dreams are gone? I love that. So it is like, that isn't it. It isn't it. So where was the ego? What the darkness was. So when the light comes into your consciousness, where's the darkness? It's gone. Where was the ego? Where the darkness was. Does it matter? No. Its opposite has gone without a trace. So trying to resist evil would be to confirm the ego. Resist not evil. Resist not evil, because it is not what it appears to be. As soon as there is light, evil is gone. Where is evil? It's gone. Where is the ego? It's gone. Without a trace. I love this. So it's beautiful. So what is a miracle then? Because we're looking at the idea of ego and miracle. What is the miracle then? A dream as well. But look at all the aspects of this dream and you will never question anymore. Look at the aspects of this dream. Look at the aspect of the dream in which a miracle can occur, recognizing that this isn't it, that evil had no reality, that there is no such thing as lack, that there is so all these aspects that we can take a look at. Like none of it is so. None of what I thought was threatening me is so. Yeah, that's beautiful. Look at the kindly world you see stretched forth before you as you walk into gentleness. Look at the helpers all along the way you travel, happy in the hope of heaven and the certainty of peace. And this is about you. Yeah? Look at all the helpers all along the way you travel, happy in the hope of heaven and the certainty of peace. Look an instant too on what you left behind at last, and finally pass it by. Look an instant too on what you left behind at last, and finally passed by. Wow, take a look at that. Well, see how much beauty is in this. It's unbelievable. So what is a miracle? It's a dream as well. But look at all the aspects of this dream and you will never question anymore. What is there to doubt if you see all evil disappear in front of your eyes? Just by the light shining it away. Look at the kindly world you see stretched forth before you as you walk in gentleness. Look at the helpers along the way you travel, happy in the hope of heaven and the certainty of peace. Be of good cheer. And look an instant too on what you left behind at last and finally passed by. It's so beautiful. I love that. This was the ego. All the cruel hate, the need for vengeance and the cries for pain, the fear of dying and the urge to kill, the brotherless illusion and the self that seemed alone in all the universe. This was the ego show, you could say, like this was the ego show. Brotherless, fear of dying, cries of pain, brotherless illusion, alone in all the universe. This terrible mistake about yourself, the miracle corrects as gently as a loving mother sings her child to rest. Is not a song like this what you would hear? Would it not answer all you thought to ask? And even make the question meaningless? Oh yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love this. Your questions have no answer. In being made to still God's voice, which asks everyone only one question only. Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet to help me save the world? That's a great question. Are you ready yet to help me save the world? Are you ready to demonstrate and teach the light that you are? Ask this instead of what the ego is, and you will see a sudden brightness cover up the world the ego made. So, Do you have any necessity for that? Oh yeah. Today, yes, absolutely. Instead of what the ego is, you will see a certain brightness cover up the world the ego made. Are you hungry for that? Oh yes. No miracle is now withheld from anyone. The world is saved from what you thought it was, and what it is wholly uncondemned and wholly pure. Are you ready to help me save the world? So that's great. So what is the ego? Nothingness, but in a form that seems like something. In a world of form, the ego cannot be denied, for it alone seems real, just because it has a form. How could God's Son, as he created him, abide in form or in a world of form? Who asks you to define the ego and explain how it arose can be but he who thinks it real, and seeks by definition to ensure that its elusive nature is concealed behind the words what seem to make it so. So don't define the ego. Don't say this is the ego, this is the ego, this is the ego, because then in fact you confirm its reality, and it doesn't have reality as you recognize that the light shines it away. So I'll keep this very short, apparently. This is great. So you get the idea. You get the idea, and the beauty of it is literally like it becomes sensible by you inviting the miracle to happen, so to speak, to choose for light instead of darkness, to allow the alternative to come to you instead of you thinking that you know how to deal with this. And that is as simple as just wait a moment, just give it one more, just breathe for a second, allow this change to occur, let the alternative shine this away, just for a moment. So you are in agony, or you're full of anxiety, and it really seems that you're completely like about to die from whatever reason, for whatever reason, or you are in so much pain that you don't know what to do with yourself. Breathe. It is still like form you choose and think real, and it doesn't need to be like that. It's like this too can be healed, can be the light will shine this away as well. Allow the miracle to occur, like stepping back out of your ideas about what you think is going on a deep level in yourself, like just let it happen, just let it change, just allow that change to occur. It's not what it appears to be, luckily not. Like there's a whole bright alternative waiting for you, and it will come to you. You can count on it. You can count on it more than on the anxiety that you're experiencing, or the pain that you think is a necessity in your life. So here's the alternative. Here's the bright light that shines all this away. And that is not a mere fantasy, it is an actual occurrence. And by seeing that, what happened before doesn't matter any longer. Like it dissolves. So don't pick it up again. Don't do anything with it. Take a look at it and let it see that it passed by, is what it said here. It's like just allow the change to be, and take a look at it and see that it actually happened. So this is wonderful. So you see, here was the reference with resist not evil in 2. It's like resist not evil. So even though somebody can ask you something weird, for instance, you're not going to correct him for that or something. No, he's like, no, just do it. Just do what he asks. If it doesn't say hurt you, just do what he asks. If you would correct him, you would do the same thing as him having a crazy idea. You know, so this is the practice. So we call it forgiveness. You know, let it be. Let it be. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Don't resist the pain. Don't resist the whatever. No, but ask for the alternative. Ask for the miracle. But don't resist this. Let that be. Then it can change. You know, so then it can change. That is what happens. And that is where you see the reality of the light in you.